Good morning, students. This is the first revision video of civics. And in this video, we'll revise two important chapters. First chapter is electoral politics and second is working of institutions. And this video has been made for class 9th. Now let us start and discuss the video. Now why do we need election? The first question may arise if we are going to discuss about the electoral politics. It's all about elections. So why do we need elections? We need to understand here that finding out if the people like their representatives or not requires a mechanism by which people can choose their representatives and change them at different intervals. This is why elections are essential. So we need to understand here that elections are very important to test our representative. Through this election only we can choose or we can change our representatives. So elections are required, elections are essential, particularly in a democratic country like India. If there would be no election, then in that case there would be no representatives. And if there would be no representatives, we cannot expect our representation there. Got it? So we need to understand here that why do we need election? So it is very important to understand that it is very essential and it is a special mechanism that is required for judging our representatives. Now, what makes an election democratic? So basically, if we are going to talk about elections, then we must talk about democratic elections. So what makes an election democratic? So first, everyone should be able to choose their representatives. What is the first point that makes an election democratic? That everyone should be able to choose their representative. Everybody should have a single vote. Everybody should be able to cast their vote equally. So in India there is a political equality. Parties and candidates should be free to contest election. We need to understand here the political parties and candidates are free to contest their elections. So that is the most important thing that is required in a democratic election. Elections must be held regularly after a certain interval. In India, the interval has been given as 5 years. In America, it is 4 years. In different countries, the different intervals are there. But so far as India is concerned, the certain interval is 5 years. So after every 5 years, we are going to choose our representative or we can change the government. The candidates preferred by the people should get elected. Here it is written that the candidate which is going to get maximum votes by the people of country, that particular political party or that particular candidate will be able to form the government. Similarly, the last point it is written that election must be conducted in a free and fair manner. So here this the special task has been given to Election Commission of India, and it is the Election Commission of India whose responsibility is to conduct free and fair election. So again we need to understand here that Election Commission of India is a very important organ that is organizing the free and fair manner election. Without the presence of Election Commission of India, we cannot expect free and fair manner election or free and fair election. So that is why Election Commission of India has been given an independent status under the Constitution. And it is working independently without any interference either from the parliament or from the executive. So we have to understand that all these conditions makes the election democratic election. In different parts of the world, elections are going on. But that election could not be termed or that election can't be termed as a democratic election. Why? Because these points are missing in those type of countries. So we need to understand that in India, it is a democratic election. Now, if we are going to talk about democratic elections, then we have to understand that problems are there. But the problems mainly lies in the political parties. We have to understand that various steps are there in the election process. Like we are going to choose our candidate. We are going to, delimitation commission is going to mark the constituency, and after that nomination is filed by the several political parties. So several political parties are having some demerits. So we need to address those demerits. Let us discuss those demerits. What are the challenges to the political parties? So here it is the first point is written, there is a lack of internal democracy. What does it mean? It means that here within the political parties, all the decision making power lies in few men or few groups, a few members only. Here in the political party, decisions should be made by all, but here it is the problem that lies within the political party, that here the democracy is not practiced within the political parties, although they are fighting in a democratic atmosphere, but in reality there is a lack of internal democracy. That is the first challenge that we need to understand. Similarly, money and muscle power. So money and muscle power is the very important thing that is that is influencing the election nowadays, and that is why if we are going to talk about free and fair election, it will be myth. So money and muscle power is nowadays is influencing the election to a great extent, and that is why election is not going on in a very fair manner. But here Election Commission of India is there to do all the things in a very independent and very honest manner. Similarly, we discussed about Election Commission of India and its role about Election Commission of India. So we need to understand here that Election Commission of India is a constitutional body, and it has been given power by the Constitution of India, and its task is to conduct free and fair election. So when the Election Commission of India is going to announce the date, from the date of election till the completion of election until the announcement of result, whole charges are within the Election Commission of India. Here Election Commission of India will be whole and soul of the whole administrative system, and all the things will be decided by the Election Commission of India. Now, if we are going to talk about the challenges, we need to understand that challenges are there, but it can be reformed also. Politics can be reformed also, and here we need to understand that clean politics is required. So with the effort of Election Commission of India, politics can become clean, or we can expect good politicians here. So reforms in politics is required, and the time has come that Election Commission of India and other organizations must come together and must expect for corruption free politics and free and fair election. So here we discussed all these in the electoral politics. Now we are going to discuss about the working of institutions. So here the working of institutions starts with the concept of office memorandum. Here a communication was issued by the appropriate authority stating the policy or decision of the government. So what is office memorandum? It is nothing but the particular type of communication issued by the government, or a particular type of order that is issued by the government. The government issues hundreds of orders every day on different matters, but this particular memorandum which was delivered in the month of August in 1990, it was having some significance in the political affairs, and we need to understand that why this order was passed and what was contained in this order. So basically, in the office memorandum that was passed in 1990, it contained 27% reservation for SC/BC classes, and it caused lot of hue and cry over the issue. Now, in order to understand that what caused the office memorandum, what caused the government to finally implement the office memorandum, we need to understand the Mandal Commission. So Mandal Commission was appointed as the second backward commission in 1979, and it was headed by BP Mandal, and that is why the name was given Mandal Commission. And this commission was asked to determine the criteria to identify the socially and educationally backward classes in India, and also to recommend for their improvement. The commission gave its report in 1980, and it made several recommendations, out of which 27% reservation was there in the government jobs for social and educationally backward classes. So this was the recommendation of Mandal Commission. So when this Mandal Commission came out with those recommendations, and after that government decided to implement. So before that, a lot of reactions were there. So what was the reactions of the people when this particular recommendation was presented in the parliament? It was most hotly debated issues in the country. Newspapers and magazines were full of different views. It led protest, counter protest, some became violent also. So when finally this Mandal Commission was implemented under the office memorandum, it caused lot of disturbances in the country. So many counter protests started in the country, and some of them became violent also. It affected thousands of job opportunities. Of course, it was about the jobs. So here we need to understand that finally it was circulated, and it attracted lot of criticism as well as lot of controversy. After that, some of them considered that it would make hamper in the national unity, and some of them opposed to, and also filed some cases in the Supreme Court. Finally, all the cases that was against the government decision, that was against the office memorandum, it was clubbed together under the case of Indira Swani case versus Government of India. And finally, 11 judges of the Supreme Court heard the argument of both the sides, and finally, by the majority of the judges in 1992, they declared the order of the government was legal, and it was valid as per the constitution. So finally, this particular Mandal Commission recommendation was accepted and it got the approval of the judiciary also. So what we saw here that Mandal Commission, the recommendation of Mandal Commission, it got the approval of government also, as well as it got the approval of the judiciary also. And when it got the approval of the judiciary, no one was there to raise questions over the intention of the government. We need to understand here that if we are going to talk about office memorandum, so office memorandum was declared, or it was circulated by different people. I mean to say that different institutions were there behind the office memorandum, like parliament was there, executive was there, and judiciary was there. So all the three important institutions that are working in our country, they all together contributed for the passing of the office memorandum. And finally, with the help of parliament, when this matter was discussed, the executive, the government gave the order, and finally judiciary gave the approval in the Indra Swani case. So we found that finally this case was approved, and the 27% reservation was now approved after that time. So this is all about this video. Thank you so much.